What's up, guys?
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Well, you know what? It's kind of funny because you said you were going to stop by yesterday. You said, hey, I'll see you.
Promises made, promises not kept.
I'll see you at Edley's.
I have seen you at Edley's. I've been watching on the YouTube stream all morning.
Don't worry, Chris. If you'd come out here, he would just accuse you of stealing things from him.
Is that what's been happening?
I mean, they were passing out free sandwiches, and I took one, and Dan, suddenly I'm a thief.
Yeah. You took my sandwich, first
thief,
of all.
But we view you as a hero. I've been paying attention.
Let me tell you something, Hand. Let me tell you, just between me and you, take over Dan Mandis' show here, but if it were not for me, Dan would be in the hospital right now. As we speak,
I'm sure
he would be in the hospital.
Earlier, you actually said that you saved my life, and I actually got a text from my wife. She's kind of pissed at you because she's got a really good life insurance policy.
Oh. You know what? With good reason. Amy, I sincerely apologize. I'll try to do better next time.
I love that we confirmed on your show that Peter Ducey is the best Ducey.
Steve Ducey's dead to me.
Yes.
I mean, it's official. Steve Ducey's dead to me.
That is literally the second time that he has blown me off. I don't understand what I did. I'm such a fan.
Yeah,
I don't.
Well, maybe Chris he heard that you said that my first question should be, how does it make you feel that your son Peter is doing so much better than you?
that probably isn't a good lead.
He probably heard you say that because everybody listens to you.
This is true. Everybody does, anecdotally
fact
speaking.
Check true.
Yeah.
Chris, can I tell you that? I mean, it was almost not almost. It was personal. Okay. Steve Ducey, I approached him. I spoke to him. I said, hey, Super Talk 99.7 WTN, our man Dan Mandis with Nashville's Morning News, big fan of yours. Would be great if you come over for 5 minutes. Then I found one of, they all have, these bigwigs have handlers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And so I found one of the handlers about 20 minutes later, and I said, hey, and I told him the same bit. If you have an opportunity, come over. Dan Mandis, huge fan. Steve Ducey, I watched him, Chris. He spoke to every human being in this place. Every human being. There was a homeless guy asleep.
He woke him up.
He woke up the homeless guy to shake his hand to thank him for coming out. Did he speak to Dan Mandis once? No. He didn't.
No.
Do you know the high point of my career has been when the engineers, everybody left. Chris, I was the only person in here except for the sleeping homeless guy. I kid you not. He's over there sleeping, and I'm like, nobody else is here. What am I supposed to do? The pinnacle of my career.
It's amazing. It's something to see. It's something to see.
He was a P1, as we say in the business.
And
I mean,
the funny thing, he was proud that he was homeless.
I thought you were assuming that, but he told you that.
He literally said, "I'm homeless," and.
Well, he got a few breakfast burritos, he got those on his belly, and it made him sleepy, and so he had to take a little nap.
The best thing about that whole experience was he said, "I listen to you all the time." I said, "No, I didn't say this," but no, you don't.
Did he say he listens to you all the time?
That's what he
said. He might be a fan. You never know.
Think he's a fan.
I don't think you should stereotype against the homeless. They have little portable radios. They have little transistor radios.
You know what? Some of those homeless folks have better phones than I do.
That's true. That's true.
That's exactly right. So anyway, but I think that it's been a fun broadcast, and definitely, again, a sleeping homeless person is the first time that it's happened to me. Usually having, a sleeping homeless guy at your radio broadcast, that happens early in your career. I feel like I've actually accomplished a lot in my career. That's the first time it's ever happened.
Have you ever been threatened at a remote? I certainly have.
Yeah, well, you kept calling it Tim Ford's Lake. I feel like the threats were the threats were good. You needed that.
Julie came up to me about the Tim's Ford Lake deal, Chris. It was later when Bob took exception with my conversation about how awful the FBI was, where Bob came up and told me, "Hey, buddy, I know things."
Ooh.
And I'm like, "Oh, what things do you know? You think I'm going to tell you?" Like, no, I do not, sir. Kirby was there. Bob was very angry, very, very angry.
And what did you say that made Bob so angry?
That basically the FBI sucks, and I mean, and I think that's fairly. I mean, I don't think that's
as it turns out.
As it turns out, I think I was right.
Yeah.
The FBI was withholding information and that they were classifying too much information and they needed to declassify a lot of what was classified. It was kind of during the time where they were claiming that Donald Trump had all these top secret things down at Mar-a-Lago, which was ridiculous. I mean, some of the classification systems they use.
Right.
I was discussing that and how they use classification system as a shield to prevent the American people from knowing what they're really doing.
Right.
And this dude was standing there just daggers, man, daggers. And as soon as I got off air, he goes, I worked with the FBI. I worked with the CIA. I know things. You don't know what you're talking about. I was like, sit down. Let's have a conversation. What's your name? What's your name? My name's Bob.
Oh, my gosh.
Special Agent Bob.
And so the best part, the punchline to that story was Bob's very, very angry. Talk him down. I invited him on the show. He refused to come on. And if you've been to Timms Ford Lake, you know that, there's a pretty steep hill that you have to go up. I mean, it's a ways to get to the parking lot at Timms Ford. You've been there.
Oh, yeah.
And to the marina. And some guy came from the parking lot, and it's like 20 minutes later. And the guy says, I don't know who pissed this guy off in the parking lot, but he's still screaming and yelling about some Matt Murphy guy.
Oh, no. That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
And then he told me he was homeless and he was coming to Edley's to meet Dan Mandis.
Oh, my gosh, you're so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had an exciting morning. Marsha Blackburn staring at your pecs. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, Chris. Chris, I was corrected. Those are not pecs. Those are Dan boobs. I was corrected by you.
You were corrected by me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Amy actually said that? Amy said, if you just shut up about it, people might think you're actually, ripped like Joe Rogan.
People might.
That's what she said.
What? I'm so mean because my first thought was, what? Who are these? What people?
The ones sleeping outside the remote.
The blind people? What
Whatever.
people?
Have you guys heard of Shrekking?
No. Fill me in.
So we're all
Speaking of your pecs,
we're all married, but Shrekking is actually kind of what my wife does, right? Shrekking is dating down and settling for ugly partners. There's actually now a phrase or a term for it, Shrekking.
There's a lot of security. There's a lot of security in that.
Well, there is a lot of security because if the good-looking partner wants to make sure that your uglier partner is not going to leave you, then you go for somebody uglier. That's what happened in my marriage.
So all three of us have been Shrek'd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all of us have outkicked our coverage. There's no question about that. So we would call this dating down back in the day, or settling.
Well,
but now we call it Shrekking, as in Fiona. What was her name? Fiona.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Fiona dating that's.
Well, yeah. When Fiona was, Chris, you're going to have to help me out here. So if there were two versions of Fiona. There was the troll Fiona, the green one.
Yes.
And then there was the
ogre. It was an ogre.
I don't see color.
And then there is the pretty redheaded Fiona, right?
Yes.
Here, look.
Yeah, yes.
Matt, that's the pretty redheaded Fiona.
I remember seeing this movie and being very annoyed that she chose to be a troll at the end of the movie. It's like you could choose to be, good looking.
Yeah, she could have.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess that wouldn't be good for Shrek.
She chose not to. Chris, are you with your kids? Are you at the age range where you guys watch the same movies over and over again? I've seen Shrek about 1,000 times.
We watch The Sandlot a lot. That is, it's one of the most classic movies of all time. But
you're killing me, Smalls.
I don't mind it. But we watch The Sandlot quite often at my house.
So you're killing me, Smalls. I think that's from The Sandlot.
Oh,
right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. It really, really bothered me that one kid didn't just go to the front door and knock on the front door. I know that I'm looking too much into the movie. I know. But
there was
I'm
there was the backstory. You know what happened to the other kids? They're buried in the backyard.
Man up and go to the front door and knock on the front door and say, "Hey, you got my baseball in the backyard."
That's all they had to do.
That's all they had to do.
And remind me what happened. I don't even remember. It's been so long.
It was James Earl Jones was in there, and he had baseballs signed by Babe Ruth or something or another.
It was Darth Vader's house.
Right. That's right. Well, this is what happened after Darth Vader lost the Empire.
It was Darth Vader's.
You can't go in there.
Yeah, I mean, after he got beat by that kid on Tatooine, his life really went to hell.
Lost his whole career, he did.
Speaking of losing your career, how do you think the remote went today?
Terrible, actually.
You went great. You sound great.
The funny part about all this is nobody would know. It sounded awesome on the air, but Dan, with the self-deprecation, lets everybody know this has been terrible. Couldn't get any worse.
And this is no disrespect to anybody, but it's like, and I don't know if you heard it on your way in, I would introduce an audio bite, and it's like the SpongeBob voice, 20 seconds later. The audio bite finally plays. I mean, maybe only a radio person understands this, but as listeners, when the host says, and this is what he said, and then there's silence, and then I'm going, Sam, you're going to play the audio, Sam? And finally it comes up. Then I realized that I was on the air.
I noticed a subtle shift in your strategy. When you would go to intro, you go, that's cut too.
So, yeah, I was about to say.
It still didn't help.
Maybe take a cue. Maybe there's a reason that Levin does it the way he does, where he just screams, cut one, go. Cut two, go.
Well, and I'm not throwing Sam under the bus because there are better programs than others to play audio in a studio, and he was using the one that is not good, but that's the one that he has. So Sam did a great job today. Leviticus is in for Sam now, and Leviticus is
You made Sam go home because he did such a poor job?
Sam walked out. He stormed out of this place. He said, I know what KGB was talking about now, and he left. He just fled. I had to console him in the hallway.
I bet right now, somewhere in Nashville, Tennessee, Sam, that homeless dude, and Steve Ducey are getting together to talk about you, Dan.
All right. They're probably right. All right.
Ducey is dead to me. He just he saw where you were. I saw him glance over here. What did you do to him? What do you think you did to him?
There was that bathroom encounter that I told you about a while ago, and when I was at Kid Rock's place, I tried to lasso him for the radio show then, and he blew me off then, and he probably remembered my encounter with him at the bathroom.
He probably thought to himself, this is Fox and Friends, not Fox and Creepers. That guy.
Yeah, who among us has not had a bathroom encounter with Dan Mandis?
Apparently it gets
a bunch of hands just went up, Chris.
Apparently I get around.
A bunch of
Consider yourself lucky, Kirby.
I do, every day.
All right. Very good. Moving right along. All right, so real quick, Chris, what do you have coming up on your show?
Well, we're going to talk about what happened in Minneapolis yesterday, and we're going to really focus on the trash takes. There were a lot of trash takes from liberals, but there were some trash takes from conservatives as well. Trey Gowdy. Why does anybody put Trey Gowdy on TV anymore?
Awful.
He was in on the Russia hoax. Then he was saying that, arresting these guys isn't the only way we can hold them accountable. And now he's blaming an entire race. I wonder if this guy would have the cojones to say, in Chicago, the problem is always a black kid with a gun. And we really got to address that. He wouldn't. He would never. And he'd be canceled for that. I'm going in on Trey Gowdy today. And then you know what I'm going to do after the show? I'm going to send him an email, and I'm going to say, hey, would you like to come on to promote your new book? And I'm going to set him up.
Are you going to set him up?
I'm going to try.
Oh, I would love that because, for those that don't know, Gowdy said, his quote was, and I know you have this clip, Chris, we're going to have a conversation of freedom versus protecting children. How many school shootings does it take before we have a conversation about keeping firearms out of? And then he interrupted himself and said, it's always a young white male, almost always. I really want to know, Chris, and I bet you feel the same way. I want to know what was the end of that sentence. Mm-hmm. I want to know keeping firearms out of the hands of I would love for Trey Gowdy to finish that sentence.
It infuriated me like no other.
He used to be one of my favorites. Like, I really liked Trey Gowdy. And over the years, he's just I don't know if it's because he's on Fox News and now he's like a little more unscripted, but he's had a few shanks.
No, I think when people talk about the deep state and rhinos, I think that you're looking at one when you see Trey Gowdy.
Dodged a proverbial bullet in that because I thought Trey Gowdy, there was a time where I thought he would make a good attorney general. for Donald
That's
Trump.
what I said, too.
For Donald Trump.
That's what I did, too.
And thankfully, none of that happened. And,
Right.
you know, he's exactly where he needs to be, mainstream establishment Republicanism on Fox. I mean, I'm just
Kind of like that Steve Ducey,
No, he's not
Dead
where he
meat.
needs to
who
be.
wouldn't come and talk to me.
He should be out front of Edley's, sleeping next to that other homeless guy. That's where he deserves to be after trash comments that he's made these past couple weeks.
I would never promote physical violence, but I would suggest to all of the listeners of Super Talk 99.7 WTN that if Dan Mandis and Steve Ducey got in a fight, Mandis would kick Ducey's ass.
Wow. Yeah, okay.
I would never hope that would happen.
Yeah, he is tall. I couldn't reach his jawline.
Yeah,
I'd be like, hey,
that's why you're pummeling him on the rump.
When the head's too high, we go low.
Oh, man.
Reach up, Mandis. Get to the kidneys. Get to the kidneys.
Oh, my goodness.
He's not that tall.
Step on his foot. He's a tall man.
He's all right.
Well,
I mean,
to
well,
me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Homeless guy was really tall.
I am so looking for – he was. I am really looking forward to being back in the studio tomorrow for Friday. Join me then, and I think we'll be back to wrap up the show next on WTN.